Imagine standing at the shore. The waves crash against your feet, and instead of worrying about drowning, you take a breath and dive in. No tank, no gear, no limits. You swim through coral reefs, past ancient shipwrecks, chasing dolphins, exploring caves, and going deeper than any human has ever dared. And you never need to come up for air. But what if humans could actually breathe underwater? How would it reshape our bodies, our cities, and even the balance of power on Earth? The ending might surprise you more than the beginning. Right now, breathing underwater is impossible because our lungs are designed for air, not water. Air contains about 21% oxygen. Water has oxygen too, but it's dissolved and only about 1% is available. That is why fish need gills. They filter massive amounts of water just to pull out enough oxygen to survive. For humans to do the same, our entire respiratory system would have to be rebuilt. Lungs would likely shrink, replaced by gill-like slits on our necks. Our blood cells might evolve to store oxygen more efficiently, similar to seals and whales. Our rib cages could reshape to handle the constant flow of water. Even our metabolism would slow down because extracting oxygen from water requires more energy than breathing air. This sounds like fantasy, but scientists are already experimenting with ideas that bring it closer. In labs, tests with liquid breathing show that mammals can survive for extended periods in oxygen-rich liquids. There are even prototypes of artificial gills that pull oxygen out of water. They are not ready for humans yet, but the concept is no longer pure science fiction. So let's say it happens. Humans can breathe underwater. How does life change? Our cities would no longer be confined to land. Imagine massive underwater metropolises, glowing domes on the seafloor, skyscrapers anchored into coral cliffs, glass tunnels where schools of fish swim past like living billboards. Instead of suburbs, we would have entire reef communities. Daily life would be unrecognizable. Children could attend floating schools where lessons happen inside bubble-like classrooms drifting among the waves. Sports would evolve into underwater races, three-dimensional football played in all directions, maybe even a version of Quidditch in real life. Fashion would change as well. Clothes would be lightweight, streamlined, maybe even bioengineered from algae fibers. Music would sound entirely different too, because sound travels 5 times faster in water. Concerts might not be loud arenas, but glowing caves, where vibrations ripple through the water like a full-body experience. And vacations would transform completely. People would book holidays in glowing bioluminescent caves or sleep under the shimmering light of hydrothermal vents. The ocean would no longer be a mystery. It would be home. There are some massive upsides. Right now, 70% of Earth is covered by oceans, but we barely use it. Breathing underwater would open up unimaginable space for expansion. Overpopulation would not be an issue. Rising sea levels would no longer be a threat. We would simply move into the water. Food shortages could also be solved. Oceans are filled with fish, algae, seaweed, and untapped resources. Entire underwater farms could grow nutrient-rich crops. Even drinking water might be easier to secure, since desalination plants could be built right inside ocean cities. Exploration would explode. Humans could finally reach places we only dream about today. The Mariana Trench, hidden caves, and lost shipwrecks sitting silently in the dark. And instead of watching marine life from afar, we would live side by side with dolphins, whales, and creatures we have not even discovered yet. On top of that, natural disasters like floods, hurricanes, and tsunamis would not scare us anymore. We would not flee from rising seas. We would adapt to them. But it would not all be paradise. The deeper you go, the greater the pressure. Even with gills, our bones and tissues would struggle in extreme depths. Without further evolution, humans could still get crushed miles beneath the surface. Then there are predators. Sharks, giant squids, orcas. Suddenly, we would no longer be visitors, we would be intruders. Entire underwater cities would need defense systems, maybe with sonar fields or electric barriers to keep predators at bay. And don't forget light. The ocean is mostly pitch black. Past 200 meters, sunlight fades away completely. We would either rely on artificial light or develop new ways of seeing in the dark, maybe evolving bioluminescent features like deep-sea creatures. Politics would become complicated too. Imagine the race for underwater territory. Nations would fight over coral reefs, deep-sea oil reserves, and mineral-rich seabeds. Wars would not just be on land or in the air, they would be fought beneath the waves. This idea is not new. Humans have always dreamed of life under the sea, mermaids, Atlantis, the gods of the deep. Mythology is packed with stories about people who belong to the water. Maybe those stories are our subconscious hinting at a future we have always longed for. Imagine if we really did evolve into merpeople. Would ancient myths become reality? Would we see ourselves as the fulfillment of legends that humans have whispered for centuries? Here is the big twist. If humans breathe underwater, it will not just change where we live, it will change who we are. Evolution does not pause. Our bodies would adapt, with longer limbs for swimming, streamlined shapes, skin that resists salt water, maybe even glowing eyes for the dark. Over thousands of years, ocean-dwelling humans could look entirely different from land dwellers. And that raises a chilling question. What happens when humanity splits in two? Land humans versus water humans. Two species, both intelligent, both competing for Earth's resources. Would we cooperate or would we clash just like nations do today? And if that happens, who really rules the planet? The ones above the surface or the ones below it? So the next time you stand at the shore, staring out at the endless ocean, remember this. That water does not just hide secrets. It hides possibilities. Because if humans ever learn to breathe underwater, we will not just open a new chapter of history. We will start an entirely new story of what it means to be human. But let's take it even further. Imagine a future where entire generations are born underwater. Children who never learn to walk on land, but swim before they can even talk. Their playgrounds would be coral reefs. Their skies would be the surface of the sea, and their entire view of the world would be shaped by the ocean. Over time, land might feel as alien to them as the deep sea feels to us now. Grass, trees, and birds could be strange and unfamiliar, while glowing jellyfish, whales, and the constant sound of water would be everyday life. Humanity would split not only in biology but in culture. Songs, art, and traditions would grow out of the water. Perhaps stories of surface dwellers would be told like myths, the way we tell tales of gods and giants. Technology would evolve differently too. Instead of cars and skyscrapers, we'd have current-powered transport and floating habitats that shift with the tides. Energy could come from thermal vents, tidal waves, or even harnessing bioluminescent life for light. The ocean would not just be where we live, but the very engine that powers our civilization. And then comes the wildest thought of all. If humans can adapt to Earth's oceans, what would stop us from exploring oceans on other worlds? Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus both have vast oceans beneath their icy crusts. Breathing underwater could be the key that makes humans the first truly interplanetary species, not by colonizing dry land, but by settling in alien seas. Our first homes beyond Earth might not be Martian deserts, but glowing oceans millions of miles away, which leaves us with one final question. If evolution, technology, or pure imagination ever lets us breathe underwater, are we still the same species that once feared drowning? Or do we become something entirely new, a bridge between two worlds, belonging both to the land and to the sea? That is the true mystery of this thought experiment. It is not just about survival, it is about transformation. If you enjoyed this journey into what life could look like underwater, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and share it with someone who loves wild ideas as much as you do.